get ready. We're gonna go on an adventure making this mysterious sea creature using styrofoam, instant paper mache, and paint. Let me show you how. First off, you're gonna wanna gather your supplies, and you're going to need some styrofoam, and one disc that's about 23 millimeters is great. You're gonna need an egg shape, a small ball, a small cone, some wiggly eyes, some felt. Of course, you're gonna need instant paper mache, white or tacky glue, some scissors, some sculpting tools, paints, paint brushes, and a nice covered work surface. So let's get started. First, we're gonna make the basis of our sea monster, and he is made from styrofoam. So we're gonna cut some shapes to make the head and the body. To start off with the head, we are gonna take our egg shape and cut in from the pointy end about an inch or two, and then we're gonna cut out a wedge, and that will create his open, smiling mouth with that long tongue. Then we're going to take our cone and cut off about an inch off the tip. This is going to be both his neck and his little iPod. And then we're gonna take the ball and cut it in half to create his paws. Now, we're also going to need some pieces for the body, and for that, we're going to use one disc. And we're gonna cut it into wedges, and if you're worried, we have diagrams for you on the website. But we're gonna cut across to make the big half, and then we're gonna cut a wedge to make both the smaller part and the tail section. And when you cut those apart, it's gonna look like this. So we'll take a little bit of time just smoothing things out, and we love to use our sculpting tools for this to make it smooth and then round the edges like this so that we can go ahead and make sure that he's a nice round flowing monster. We're also gonna take these little bits here that are his paws, and we'll just cut in a little bit to make toes like this. And again, we can kind of file off the rough edges, kind of sculpt him a little bit, make him look just the way you want. So once you've kind of rounded off those pieces, let's set that aside, and I'll show you how we're going to assemble our creature, because there's a little bit of assembly to the head. We're gonna take that neck section I showed you and a little bit of glue, and we're gonna put some glue on the top. Now this is a nice thick white glue. And then we're gonna put in a toothpick like this. And then we can set the head right on top like so. We can take another toothpick, break it in half, and add that eye stalk. And I kind of put it about 2/3 of the way back. And again, we're just gonna use the toothpick to hold it all together. And you can sculpt this back a little bit, you know, put it forward, backward, kind of customize them. All right, so the next part is we're gonna make our instant paper mache, and I have to glove up for this part. I've already measured out 1/3 of a box of paper mache into this bag, and you need about 1.25 cups of warm water to make it activate. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour that in, like so. I'm gonna close the bag. I'm not gonna push out all the air. I want a little bit of air to be in there, but a little bit not, so about halfway. And then I'm going to massage it like this to mix it up. This is actually the funnest part of the project for me, because I just love the way it feels in the bag as you smush it up. And you'll feel it's warm, and when it all feels kind of smushy, you can kind of feel the dry bits still in there. So just kind of massage it until you feel those dry bits, and you can even see them through the bag. It also helps minimize the mess, which the parents like. So I'm gonna massage it just a little bit more, and now we're gonna get ready to cover a piece. Now, of course, you're gonna cover all of your pieces of sea monster. I'm just gonna show you how to do this one. And what we'll do is take a little bit of the wet clay and just press it right on. And as you can see, the instant paper mache will stick right on to the styrofoam. And you can mold it, making little ridges on its back so that it has little scales, and you can cover all of your pieces with instant paper mache and then set it aside to dry. I have one here that's all ready to go. This is the tail section, and as you can see, I've actually sculpted a little curl on the end of the tail, but now he needs some color. So our sea monster is going to be red, and I'm using just acrylic paint. You can dab into the paper mache to make sure that it gets into all of those little nooks and crannies. So take your time, base coat the whole thing, and you're going to do that for all of your pieces. Now, for our finished one, the head is yellow and the body is red, but again, pick colors that you like, and you can make it all the same color. So this is your chance to really personalize your sea monster and make it special. Now we're going to go ahead and let all of those pieces dry, and we're going to speckle. This is fun. It's a kind of an extra part. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but why not? So we're going to dip our old toothbrush, don't use your good one, into some yellow paint, like so. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to get a little more on there. There we go. Then I'm going to just use my glove, because I got the glove on my hand, and I'm going to just kind of pull the bristles towards me and make that speckle happen. Isn't that cool? It's so much fun. And so we're doing the yellow on the red bits and the red on the yellow bits, but do whatever you like. Now, we're going to add some finishing touches onto the head by adding a little paint stripe down the front, like this. He gets a little racing stripe. We're going to add some little dots inside of his mouth for teeth. And you can just use the end of your paintbrush for that, which is really fun. And then we're going to also create his eyes and his antenna. So it's pretty easy to do the antenna. All you have to do is take a styrofoam or a chenille stem. I like to give it a little swirly twirl. And then you can poke it right into the back of the head. And you can poke a hole first with your pencil. Make a little hole, dip it into some glue, and then poke it in. So after you set that aside to dry, you need to add a few more finishing touches. Let's take a look at the finished model in front of me. So you can see here we've added some felt to make little eyelashes and glued on wiggly eyes. A little bit of Chanel inside of the mouth makes a little spiky tongue. And don't forget to cut out some wavy shapes out of felt so that he has a little watery home.